Today we'll be doing a trip recap of the first few days of our most recent trip to Universal Orlando Resort. Hello and welcome to the Let's Go to Disney podcast. I'm Oliver.
And I'm Lucy.
Today is Sunday, November 23rd, and you're listening to episode 115, Trip Recap, Universal Orlando, and Epic Universe. Before we get into today's main topic, here's what's going on at the parks right now. We alluded to this a couple of weeks ago, but Disney Parks blog dropped their foodie guide for the Epcot International Festival of the Holidays. Reminder that it kicks off this week on November 28th, and it's going to run through December 30th. There's a ton of returning favorites as always, as well as some new offerings. The cookie stroll is back as well. There's actually 13 cookies to choose from this year, which is up from the last couple of years, but you only need 5 stamps to complete the stroll and get another cookie. Our favorite in 2023 was actually the Linzer cookie from the Bavaria Holiday Kitchen. It was, I think, like strawberry or raspberry or something.
Yeah.
But this year it's hazelnut. And we bet that actually might be best of the fest because, yeah, those cookies are amazing.
Yeah, agreed.
And if you have a trip rather in the next couple of weeks, head to Disney Parks blog to get the full Holiday Kitchen menus for this year's festival. The 2D visuals are live over at Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in Epcot. Reminder that this was closed November 10th through 13th for the change. And initial reports are that nothing much has changed, right? The attraction, by and large, is pretty much the same. Sans glasses and 3D scenes. So if you've got a trip coming up soon and you want to check out the new refreshed or changed or just a little bit different attraction, make sure to head there. The Disney Destiny had its inaugural sailing this week. Initial impressions are awesome. The rotational dining, the shows, the lounges, everything just looks really good, as is expected with Disney Cruise Line.
Yep.
We are fresh off a cruise, so we're like, honeymooning with Disney Cruise Line, and we booked a placeholder, and it's like...
And it's been miraculously showing up a lot on my feed, so...
Yeah, it's weird how that happens.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to just hearing and seeing more reviews, right? And more... just hearing more about it as more guests sail on the brand new ship and are experiencing all these new offerings for the very first time.
Our neighbor was actually on this sailing because she works for a travel agency that's specific for Disney.
That's right.
And so I'm sure we'll get to chat with her in the next little while too and get all of her first impressions.
Yeah, no, for sure. And a little plug here for Jamie. She's Jamie with Click the Mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super, super knowledgeable. She is traveling.
So knowledgeable.
She's traveling down there all the time. So Disney Cruise Line and Disneyland, Walt Disney World. Yep, she's
awesome. Your go-to.
Yep.
And then over on the West Coast, the Disney California Adventure Festival of the Holidays has officially kicked off. There are 6 food booths, and the menu for those have also been released on the Disney Parks blog website if you've got a Disneyland trip coming up this holiday season. The Wailulu Bar and Grill over at the Island Tower at Disney's Polynesian Resort will be added to the advanced dining reservation lineup. Up to this point, it has been a first-come, first-served with a walk-up wait list. Advanced dining reservations are going to open up on December 3rd, and then the earliest reservation will be the following day on December 4th. Over at the Wilderness Lodge, the boat docks are getting a refurbishment. So this means that the boat transportations will be impacted while the work is being carried out, which means that you're going to have to take the buses to and from Magic Kingdom. Work is set to begin on January 12th, and it should be completed in April. But the good news is that the Magic Kingdom dock is only going to be closed from January 12th to 30th, something to be mindful of if you are staying here in mid to late January.
Yeah, exactly. With that said, we just got back from Florida earlier this morning, and we mean that. And if we sound tired, it's because we are. So... like, no joke, as we were walking out of Magic Kingdom Friday night from Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, I got a notification from WestJet, which is the airline we're flying with, essentially that our flight out of Orlando, which was early Saturday, was pushed back from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., which might not seem like a big deal, but that means that we were going to miss our connection from Calgary to Regina to get home. Our new arrival time in Calgary was 1:19 p.m. and our original connection was departing at 1:15 p.m. So obviously we weren't going to make that. So
no, they weren't going to hold the plane for us. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And we still had to go through customs and everything. So there's definitely no way. So obviously Lucy got on the phone with them like right away. And luckily there are multiple flights from Calgary to Regina every day. But unfortunately, the 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 9 o'clock flights were all full. So the earliest they could get us on a flight from Regina, or rather from Calgary to Regina, was 11:30 p.m., which means with the hour lost going back to Central Time, we didn't land until 2 a.m. our time. That's in Regina, which would be 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we had been up fairly early for that flight.
And late the night before with the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. We didn't leave there till 10:30, 11?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was around that time. And like, obviously the intention was that we were supposed to initially get home at 3:55 p.m., right? So essentially right before
Yeah.
4, we would have had time to unpack, get cleaned up,
Get groceries, get laundry started.
Yeah, we would
kids
have had
get to bed early.
Exactly. We would have time for all of it, but
we had a whole plan.
but we didn't get home till much, much later. Yeah.
Like, shout out to my dad. The sweet man went to bed a little bit earlier Saturday night.
Yeah, got up in
and
the
then
middle
got
of
up
the
in the
night.
middle of
Yeah.
the night to come pick us up because he did not want his grandchildren Ubering at 2:00
Yeah.
in the morning.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
shout out to Pops. He rocked it.
Yeah, exactly.
And no doubt there is also something to be said that this is when carry-ons become a bit of a pain. Just because we had our 4 carry-ons and our 4 backpacks, so we couldn't even really leave the airport because we would have had to drag our suitcases everywhere we went. I think if we hadn't had our carry-ons, we may have left.
Yeah, maybe for a couple hours.
Yeah,
Yep.
just to get out, essentially. All that said, it was just about 11 hours that we were stuck in the Calgary airport. So honestly, that wasn't great. It was hard to be at the airport with the kids, especially for that long. It would be hard enough just the 2 of us, but with the kids, I was dreading it.
Yeah.
It definitely put a damper on the end of our trip, but honestly, the rest of our trip was pretty great. So that's what this episode is really about today. So for today's main topic, we are going to do a trip recap. We spoke about it a lot before leaving, but we left on November 12th and we did 3 nights and 2 days at Portofino Bay and the original Universal Parks. And then we did 2 nights and 2 days at the Helios Grand Hotel and Epic Universe. Then we went on a 4-night cruise on the Disney Wish, and then we did 1 night at Walt Disney World where we stayed at Coronado Springs, and we did Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. And then, like we said, we came home early morning hours of the 22nd into the 23rd.
Which is, earlier this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, which technically should have been mid-afternoon yesterday, the 22nd, but it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. It was a long trip, right? Longer than we normally travel. We usually go down like 7, max 8 days, but this was a full 10 days. So we'll actually split the recap into 2 episodes. Today we'll cover our Universal Orlando and Epic Universe days, and next week we'll get into the cruise and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So aside from this snafu getting home, our flights to get there actually went really well. We had no issues, and we actually landed a little bit early, which was nice. We were walking off the plane right around 4:20. Again, this was on November 12th. We grabbed our Uber straight to Portofino Bay. Our room was ready, so we checked in quickly. We stopped by the ticket counter that's right in the lobby to pick up all of our tickets for all the days that we were there, including our Epic Universe days, which was nice. And then we went to drop off our stuff. We unpacked our toiletries, electronics, like our chargers and whatnot, just those kind of things that we would use or we would need immediately, rather. And we don't typically unpack fully, clothes and everything, especially when we do split stays, which we were obviously doing for this trip. And just quickly on the theming of Portofino Bay. So it's actually modeled after Portofino, Italy, like the actual physical place. We've never been to Portofino, Italy, but if you Google photos of it, and then compare that to Portofino Bay Resort, they did a really good job with this because, complete with the prop boats on the water at the resort, it looks like the real thing. It definitely feels like it, it could be in Italy and it would be right at home.
Yeah, it was a very nice resort.
Yeah, we love staying here. We had a standard garden view room, and what we love about the rooms here is actually the size.
Yeah.
So they feel really spacious, and they are, with a really large bathroom, and it has a split toilet. So the toilet is split with a pocket door, and then you have 2 sinks, right? So essentially his and her sinks.
That's right. Yep.
And then a shower. So, and it's just really you don't feel stuffy in there. There's lots and lots of space.
Totally. And then after that, we headed to City Walk. So we walked there from Portofino. It's about a 10 to 15 minute walk, depending on how quickly you walk. Honestly, we don't mind the trek, but there is a water taxi available if that appeals to you, or if you just don't want to get those extra steps in at the end of a very long park day. We totally get that. So we ended up having dinner at Bubba Gump Shrimp, which is a kind of a tradition for us.
Yep.
Anytime there's a Bubba Gump Shrimp wherever we are, we hit it up.
Yep.
We just love it. We've even eaten at the one in London just because that's just part of our tradition. We love it so much.
Yeah.
After we got back from dinner, we let the kids swim for a little bit. It's actually a very decent sized pool, and the kids had a lot of fun in this pool. They thought it was really great. And then after that, everybody got cleaned up really quickly. We turned in not too late because we were heading into the parks first thing in the morning. Islands of Adventure was opening at 9 a.m., so early entry was at 8 a.m., and we were up right around 6:30. Everybody got ready. We stopped for a quick coffee and a bite to eat at Cafe Espresso, which is essentially a Starbucks, but not officially one. And after that, we walked to the park, and then there's a security entrance for resort guests.
Yeah, like dedicated.
Yeah,
so
dedicated.
Yeah, which is really nice.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And then there was nobody there, so it was a very quick walkthrough. And then we were getting to the touch points right around 7:45 a.m. It was packed up, but not too bad because as soon as we got in the line, it started to move.
Yeah, it started to move. They let in people a little bit ahead of 8 a.m.
More than normal. So it was actually good for us because our kids hate waiting in the morning. They just want to get going because they're so excited. Yeah. So it was nice that we just started moving right away.
For sure. And even with that, we weren't really stressed for time because we had those unlimited express passes staying at Portofino. And everyone is usually heading to Hagrid's anyway, but you can use your express pass as soon as the park opens, right? So there's zero pressure if you have express passes, right? So
and not every resort offers the unlimited express pass.
Yeah,
so if you are staying
it's
at
only
other
the premier resorts, so that's going to be Portofino, Royal Pacific, and the Hard Rock.
That's right. So the other resorts, they also get early entry, but they don't get the unlimited
express pass. Exactly. But and then outside of that, if you're not staying at a Universal resort and you don't qualify for early entry, or you don't have express passes, to your point, if you are staying at a Universal resort, but you don't have express pass, it can definitely be an advantage to head there just a little bit earlier than we did, just to get on Hagrid's with minimal wait.
And then rush over to Velocicoaster.
Exactly, because especially Hagrid's, because it has such a high wait time typically throughout the day.
Absolutely.
And one thing that was actually a real bummer for us is that Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey was closed from November 10th to 20th, which is obviously included the days of our trip. And it was just for a routine refurbishment, but the kids have never written it. So we were pretty disappointed with that. But we headed straight to Hagrid's first thing. And actually, we used our express pass. So we got right on. And we actually ended up doing it back to back. After that, the kids wanted to do Flight of the Hippogriff. And I don't know if they wanted to do it. It's just that we weren't going to Forbidden Journey because that was closed.
Yeah, so we felt like they had to do one more Harry Potter ride.
So we did Flight of the Hippogriff, which they weren't like huge fans of. They didn't hate it. They just didn't want to do it again after because they were like, okay,
that was slow.
It's quick and slow, so
I shouldn't say slow, but like it was very quick, and our kids love the fast roller coaster. So this one is tame compared to others. Yeah,
exactly. And after that, I actually took Caleb to Velocicoaster, and because he's tall enough for it, and Sophia is not. And he absolutely loved it, which is not surprising. We have yet to put a coaster in front of him that he doesn't love.
Yeah, I agree. And then from there, we headed to Three Broomsticks, and we had a more substantial breakfast. And then we took the Hogwarts Express over to Universal Studios Florida. We actually spent much more time on this side on day one. So here we rode Escape from Gringotts, and we bought the kids some wands. We had budgeted for that, so we kind of walked around the land and then let them do a little bit of magic. And then after that, we headed into the rest of the park, and we rode Revenge of the Mummy. That was a huge hit with both of our kids.
Yeah, they loved it. Yeah.
It's a huge hit with us as well. Then we did the Villain Con ride, which is a Minion version. Shooter one.
Yep.
And then the Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. After that, we rode Revenge of the Mummy for the second time. Like I said, it was a big hit. And then we headed to the Today Cafe for lunch. The kids split a chicken Caesar salad. That's one of their favorites. So it's a really good.
They love Caesar salad.
They love it. And they don't mind the chicken in it either. So that's usually our go-to for lunch.
Something a little bit lighter.
Yeah. They love it. And then Oliver and I actually split the 30 Rock Midtowner platter, which is a turkey, Gouda, and tomato aioli sandwich with potato salad. Actually, a lot of people don't like Today Cafe, but we actually like the salads and the sandwiches that come from here. This is not the first time we've eaten here, and every time it's been really good. Yep. Like I said, they're very simple, but just really good, tasty, and definitely nice to just have those lighter options in the park.
Yeah, agreed 100%. And after that, we hit up a few more rides. We did Men in Black Alien Attack. We did E.T. And then we went into Diagon Alley. And we got more and more ride-in at Escape from Gringotts. And we grabbed some ice cream from Florian Fortescue's.
I swear to God, that's the longest line we ever wait on.
Always the longest line. It's always such a long line.
We never wait in line for rides that long as you do for this ice cream shop.
No, and and we shouldn't gossip, but like there was this grandma.
I felt terrible for her.
Yeah, just a little boy. He must have been like 3 or 4, but just completely losing his marbles. And
so grandpa, mom, and dad ditched poor grandma with the 2 kids. The little girl was being very good. She was just sitting there. That boy wanted to make his grandma's life a living hell. He was hitting her.
Full blown hitting her.
He was throwing things. I felt terrible for her. She just looked at her wits' end. And then when we got inside, I picked out mom and dad and grandpa right away because they were speaking the same language, which was not English, as grandma. And I was like, look at them. They just have no idea right now that poor grandma's
dealing with outside. She needs help.
Oh, yeah. And like, you don't want to step in and help her at all, but you just feel really bad for her.
Totally. And then after that, we went back, I guess, into the rest of the park, and we caught the Universal Mega Movie Parade, kind of like on accident, actually.
And you and I have never actually seen that before, so it was kind of nice.
So yeah, it was nice to see, and the kids enjoyed that. So, and then after that, we headed back over to Islands of Adventure. We did a couple more rides on that side, and the park was actually closing fairly early on this day. It was actually closing at 6 p.m., but this was working out perfect for us because we had a 6:15 reservation over at Antojitos. The kids both had tacos. Lucy and I both had enchiladas, and of course, chips and salsa to start. They just bring that to the table. And
which I love that.
Oh, they're so good, like fresh.
And they give you like a lot.
Yeah. Plenty for
I do appreciate
table
that
four.
about this restaurant, that's not something that you have to purchase. It's just automatic. And I love that.
Yeah, exactly. Plus the food is good. The service is also good. The atmosphere is fun too. There's live music there. There was like a live guitarist.
Yeah, it's a great restaurant.
Yeah. So exactly. And then we were back at a decent time. So we let the kids swim a little bit. And again, we got cleaned up and we called it a night fairly early. Yep.
So then on our second day, this was pretty much a carbon copy of day one. We started our day the exact same way with a quick breakfast at Cafe Espresso. Then we walked over to the park. It was a little bit busier this morning. We were a little bit further back from the touch points. But again, with our express passes, it just really didn't matter. And we got right onto Hagrid's as soon as we got there. And then on this day, we definitely spent a little bit more time over at Islands of Adventure. We got a few rides in on Hagrid's, and then we did the King Kong ride, Velocicoaster, and Spider-Man. We actually didn't do Jurassic Park River Adventure on either day because it was actually kind of cold and you can get pretty wet on that.
For sure.
I know the kids would have loved that ride, and we will take them on it next time if we're there when it's a little bit warmer out and you can dry a little faster.
Yeah.
But we didn't even tell them about it, to be honest with you, just because they would have wanted to probably go on it.
Yeah.
So we just pretended like it didn't exist.
That's the thing, because we started our day wearing jackets, right?
We did.
It obviously warmed up as the day got, like the day wore on in the afternoon kind of thing, but it was fairly chilly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we had lunch at the Leaky Cauldron on the Universal Studios Florida side. Oliver had some fish and chips. I had the bangers and mash, delicious. Caleb also had a banger with some fries. And then Sophia had her go-to mac and cheese with applesauce and grapes. We honestly love the restaurants in the Wizarding World. The Three Broomsticks and the Leaky Cauldron are fairly similar overall, but the food is just really good for theme park standards.
Yeah, agreed 100%. After lunch, we did some more attractions on this side, and then we hopped back over to Islands of Adventure in the late afternoon. Again, we had dining reservations at 6:15. All of our dining reservations were at 6:15 on this trip. And that was over at Toothsome Chocolate Emporium. Lucy and I, we had been here once before, but it was the kids' first time eating here, which was fun for them. We were seated in the main dining room, so that was on the first floor. And for dinner, I had it was the May Contain Bacon Burger, which had like a burger and like a burger aioli kind of thing, or a bacon aioli, sorry. And like Canadian bacon is just like, it's bacon heavy.
Full of bacon.
But it was really, really good. Lucy had the French onion soup and the cocoa hot honey wings, which sounds weird, but I had a couple of them and they were really good.
Oh, they were so good. And honestly, the French onion soup, I did not regret getting it. It was delicious.
Yeah, because like we were saying, it was a little bit colder, especially in the evening. So
it hit the spot.
It's definitely soup weather.
Yeah.
And then Caleb had the kids pasta with marinara sauce, pretty standard. And Sophia had the mini burger with fries. Despite the name, this isn't just a dessert spot, right? They have a pretty good menu with lots of options, but of course the dessert menu is pretty extravagant, right? So their milkshakes they're just over the top, right? Like with like actual full-blown cupcakes or brownie pieces and like copious amounts of whipped cream. Like I'm not like shortchanging this. It's a lot of whipped cream. It was way too much for the kids, obviously. So they each had a scoop of ice cream, but Lucy and I shared the Heavenly Hazelnut Milkshake, which is made with Nutella ice cream, hazelnuts, Nutella cocoa powder, and then whipped topping. And again, they meet it with this whipped topping because, this thing is just surrounded by whipped cream.
It is,
pretty decadent and definitely more than shareable between two people. And
absolutely.
Like you ate a little bit of it. I ate most of it. But it was delicious. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the characters, Penelope and Jacques, actually come to your table as well. And then they interacted with the kids, which was really fun. We took a photo with them. The kids got a kick out of that. And honestly, so did we. They were just a lot of fun. They were telling jokes and stuff like that. So it was entertaining.
Yeah.
And then after that, we headed back to Portofino, got a quick swim in, and then cleaned up and headed to bed at a decent time. Oliver and I were actually packing up our suitcases because we were switching to Helios the following morning. So we were up right at 6 o'clock in the morning or so. We packed up the last of our toiletries and the phone chargers and whatnot. And we headed down to the lobby and we got an Uber right around 7 o'clock. And then we were walking into Helios Grand just before 7:30. We checked in quickly. Obviously, our room wasn't ready. We knew it wouldn't be at that point, but they gave us our room keys so that we could head into the park for early entry via the Helios Grand entrance to the park. We left our bags with Bell Services, grabbed a coffee and a quick snack at the Aurora Market, which is the small cafe right next to the check-in desks in the lobby.
Yeah, exactly. And we didn't venture too far, like kind of around the resort or even the lobby at this point, right? We explored like just the immediate lobby area, like where their Christmas tree is, a little bit in the morning. I took some photos and some videos there. The lobby is like just really, really beautiful, right? It's bright. The floor is kind of a dark blue, which is like speckled, and it loosely looks kind of like a night sky. And then the walls are white, and the area in the lobby just has kind of this exposed stone, I guess you could say, and it's kind of a sandstone color. And then the back wall is where this like the lobby starts to shine because it's floor to ceiling windows, which overlooks the back of the resort, which just happens to be Epic Universe. So it goes without saying that the views are absolutely stunning here. There's also a large statue in the back here, and I'm going to call it a Greek god. I tried to figure out who it is, and I've seen conflicted articles like where the details say it's either Helios or Apollo, but I can't seem to find a definitive answer. So if you know who that is, just let us know. But either way, there's also a water feature back there and a small bridge, and then the winding kind of walkway that leads into Epic. It's really such a beautiful resort.
Yeah,
we were kind of floored seeing it for the first time. It's really, really something there. Yeah.
Absolutely. It is truly gorgeous. So then right beside the Aurora Market is the park entrance from the resort. There's actually a security checkpoint right in the lobby there before you head out into the park. So guests start to line up here around 7:50. So we got in line right away when we saw other people starting to line up right around 8 o'clock. We didn't have to wait here long. They started to let the guests go through security right around 8:05. And then we went down the walkway into the park. Here, there were cast members waiting for us, and we were held there until just before 9 o'clock. So it's important to note that not all the lands are officially open for early entry, but in practice, things open earlier than the official Universal website and app will say. So officially, Super Nintendo World, Celestial Park, and Dark Universe are all open for early entry with their attractions beginning operation at 9 a.m., with the exception of Minecart Madness in Super Nintendo World that opens at 10, along with Isle of Berk and Ministry of Magic.
Yeah, exactly. Like Lucy's saying, right, in practice, that is not the case. So you can line up at the Battle of the Ministry and at Isle of Berk and also at Minecart Madness, and they're going to start running earlier than 10 o'clock, if not even right at 9. So when we were led into the park, we actually headed straight for Minecart Madness, which again, the app doesn't say. The app says rather that it opens at 10.
Yep.
And sure enough, it was open, right? I checked my watch and we were riding the attraction. It was not even actually 9 a.m. yet. It was like 8:58 or something like that. But yeah, like I said, if you follow what the app says, it doesn't open until 10, right? So there's definitely a bit of a discrepancy there. And after we were off Minecart, we headed over to Bowser's Challenge. It was listed as a 60-minute wait. I knew we were probably not going to wait that. And sure enough, we waited right around 40 minutes or so. The kids absolutely loved both of these rides. So that was nice, especially our son. He's like a big Mario guy. So
huge Mario guy.
Yeah, the Mario Kart aspect of it, he really appreciated, which was awesome. And then after that, we headed into Celestial Park and rode Stardust Racers. So
I'm laughing at this because I know what he's about to say.
Yeah, so this was by far the fastest coaster that Sophia has ever ridden.
Remember, she has not done Velocicoaster because she's too little for
That's
that
the thing, and she's 7, so she's right between essentially 48 and 51 inches.
Yeah.
So Stardust Racers, the height requirement is 48 inches, and Velocicoaster is 51.
That's right.
And I think she's like 49 and change.
Yeah.
So anyways, long story short, fastest coaster she's ever ridden, and it made quite the impression on her. So up to this point, like we never found a coaster that she didn't love, but she didn't love this one. It was really fast for her.
Oh my God.
And I think that it must have scared her a little bit. Because she essentially refused to go on it at any other point during the trip at this point. Yeah.
Caleb and I actually were very front row, which was quite the feeling. It was quite crazy.
Yeah.
I looked back at her so much, and her face just had this instant, just unknowing fear, essentially.
Yeah,
like
she was beside me.
Would smile maybe once or twice, but all in all, it was just too much for her.
Yeah, that's the thing. And if you've ridden it, it's
something.
It's fast, right?
Yeah.
Like for sure it's fast. It feels fast. It's like, it's like next level. And for our little 7-year-old, it was a lot. And I mean, I can't say I blame her. Like,
our son though, loved it.
Yeah.
Loved
He
every
just wanted to
second of
go,
it.
again and again and again. And who knows, in another couple of years, when she grows a little bit more, she might feel differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was not so hot on it
Nope.
after that.
That was the only time she wrote it.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing too we didn't really mention is that we had express passes for Epic as well for these days. These are an added cost. They're not included in your stay at Helios or anything. But we actually didn't use them in the first part of the day. So essentially everything we've said so far, we rode standby because wait times were pretty manageable, or especially early in the morning. And because like even Stardust Racers, I think was a 10-minute wait when we went in. So,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then after that, we headed quickly into Isle of Burke. Waits here were already pretty much swelling, hey, at this point?
Yeah, at that point it was, yeah.
Yeah. But Dragon Racers Rally was sitting at a 35-minute wait, and it's actually one of the few rides that's not available through Express.
That's right.
So we rode that one. We waited pretty much the full 35 minutes. And honestly, this was just okay in our opinion. We didn't really love this one. I would never have waited again for 35 minutes. That's for sure.
No, for sure.
At that point, it was getting close to noon now, and everyone was definitely feeling pretty hungry. So we headed to Pizza Moon for lunch. The menu here has a lot of really fun pizzas that Oliver and I would have loved to try, but we just kept it simple with our kids. Once again, we split a couple of Caesar salads. Like I said, our kids love the Caesar salads. And then we had the Pizza Moon pepperoni pizza between the four of us. This was really, really good pizza.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed this lunch.
Definitely.
I would eat there again for sure.
Yeah. By quick service standards in a theme park, the pizza has no business being that good. So we were really happy with that.
So good, yeah. And actually, when we were waiting in line to get into the park before early entry, a guy behind us was talking about how he couldn't wait to, at like that evening, get a pizza and bring it back to his room and just look out. And I was like, oh,
for sure.
I see what he's talking about
now. And we
had
read some reviews and heard good things about the pizza there, and it holds up. It was very good. Yep.
And so then after that, we headed over to Dark Universe and we rode Monsters Unchained. We weren't sure how the kids would react to this one, but they were both really okay with it. It was also just a 10-minute wait, so it was pretty much just a walk-on, so we didn't use our express pass here just yet. I absolutely loved this ride, but I love horror, scare, all that stuff. You did not love this ride.
Yeah, it's not really my thing, right? I will give it like it's credit that it's well done.
So well done.
The animatronics are really good, and like the ride system is really reminds me of Forbidden Journey. It's a very similar kind of feeling.
The animatronics were epic in this one.
Yes,
they were
I will
really
give
well
it that
done.
for sure. Yeah, not my favorite IP kind of thing, but definitely a good ride. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And then after that, we went to ride Curse of the Werewolf, which was about a 45-minute wait at this point. So we did use our first express pass of the day on this ride. After this, Battle of the Ministry was showing a 60-minute wait, which was the lowest we had seen it at that point so far that day. It was hovering around the 100, 110 minutes before that. So we boogied on over there, but the wait time was reading 110 minutes when we got there. Oliver actually confirmed with the cast member at the front of the attraction which wait time was right, and he did tell us that it was a 60-minute wait time. It just hadn't been updated yet at the attraction. And then he also suggested we jump in line because it was an anomaly for the wait time to be so low during that time of day.
Yeah, exactly.
So we did jump into the line thinking we would come back later with our express pass. We waited a little closer to 70 minutes all told. The kids were a little bit upset with us about that one because they thought when we got there, we initially planned to use our express passes. So they thought we were just going to cruise on by. So they were not happy that we ended up doing the standby when they were expecting to just cruise through.
No, and that's the thing. And we
don't blame them.
That's the thing. We intended to do that, right? But yeah, when the cast member was like, no, it's abnormal for it to be. So I was like, okay, well, let's do standby now, and then we can come back later with our express pass. But yeah, either way. So
then as a consolation, we bribed them with a couple of frozen butterbeers, which they really enjoyed. I think they thought it was a little sweet, but it was good to share it. And then we headed into Le Cirque Arcanuf show. We won't spoil this one for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but it's actually a really good show. The animatronics are really well done, and the acting and the performers, they do a really good job. So it's definitely worth checking out for sure.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. And after that, we headed back into Super Nintendo World, and we rode Minecart Madness and Bowser's Challenge with our express passes. And once we were out of there, it was right around like 5:45-ish. And again, it was a 6:15 dinner on this night as well over at the Atlantic. So we went and rode the carousel with our I was going to say Lightning Lane, but it's our express pass. And even with that, the load and unload is actually so slow that we barely made it to our reservation on time.
Irritating how slow it was.
Yeah, because like 35 minutes standby, and
Oh my
it took
God.
us 30 minutes to go there, even with Express.
We were
So,
shocked at that.
yeah, about how long it took. So anyways, long story short, we did make it to the Atlantic in time. And now I don't really like to talk about this because for the most part, I'm a pretty patient and kind of accommodating person. So we checked in for our reservation, right? We waited about 15 minutes or so and we were brought to our table. Now, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that we were probably brought to the worst table in that entire restaurant.
100%.
It's essentially on the ground floor, which you would think is cool because it's by the windows, but it's not. It was actually tucked to the leftmost point of that dining room, right next to the elevator and the entrance to the kitchen. And you actually can't see out of the windows at all from that place
Spot,
in the
yeah.
dining room. And actually, because of the alcove of the elevator, you actually can't really see into the rest of the restaurant at all either. So I politely asked the cast member, just if there was any other tables available, like anywhere. Didn't have to be by the windows, just somewhere else in the restaurant, but just essentially closer to the action, right? And she initially told us that we'd have to go back upstairs and wait and that it could be a long wait. But, I was kind of like,
Persistent in a nice way.
yeah, I was like, are you sure? Like I saw some tables walking down and I know there's other people waiting upstairs, but if, again, it doesn't have to be by the windows, it could be
Yeah.
anywhere. So she, with her little microphone, she talked to essentially the other cast members upstairs and they brought us to a table. Yeah, like right by the windows, which I was super appreciative of.
Yes.
And I said, like, I was super thankful. So yes, we were much, much happier with that second table. And yeah, just thankful that they were willing to accommodate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Normally, we would not say anything, especially Oliver. He would for sure not say anything. He actually hates it if I do say something.
Yeah.
But we've sat at plenty of not great tables, and we usually don't say anything, especially if it's just the two of us. But I was so glad he did say something. I told him that right away. I was shocked. I told him first, I am shocked you said something, but thank you.
Yeah.
Because the appeal of this restaurant is the grand windows overlooking the park.
For sure it is.
And then sitting in the corner was just not our idea of a good time. So long story short, once we got that all sorted out, we had a great experience. Our waitress was phenomenal, super kind lady. We started with the sweet and spicy shrimp, which were pretty good. I had the bocatini alla Adriata, which is bocatini pasta with shrimp, tomato sauce, arugula, and bacon herb breadcrumbs. This was really tasty. I enjoyed this one. Oliver had the grouper sandwich, which I was proud for him of getting. Usually, if he doesn't know what to get, he'll just stick with the burger. So I'm proud of him for getting that one.
But
and he actually really liked it.
And I didn't see a burger on the menu, but it was actually, it looked like essentially fish and chips, like a big piece of fish and chips with
fish.
like on a Kaiser bun or like a brioche bun. But the fish was sticking out like probably like 4 inches on either side. So either way, I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah. And Sophia had the mac and cheese with fruit salad, and Caleb had the fish sticks, which we were surprised because he's not usually a fish guy.
I couldn't believe it when he said, I'll have the fish nuggets. I was like, okay.
Yeah, but he ate them. And they actually both liked their meals. So it was a good experience overall. And we would definitely recommend a meal here, and we would eat here again.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And then after dinner, we headed back into Isle of Burke and we did our express pass for Hiccups Wing Glider, which is hands down such a fun roller coaster. It's fast, it's fun, and this ended up being one of our favorite rides in this entire park.
Agreed with that.
Such a great ride. It makes you feel just the movement of like the coaster essentially makes you feel like you're flying. That's so
the thing.
great.
It makes me. It does give you that giddy. It gives you a giddy feeling, right? Like
that's what you're looking for on those kinds of rides.
Yeah. Super, super good. And then after Isle of Burke, we headed into the Ministry of Magic and we did our express pass for a Battle at the Ministry. And it was actually a 25-minute wait at this point of the night, which we were like, oh man, because
that
obviously
cast member
we had
led us
waited.
Astray.
We had waited in that 70-minute or so line earlier, right? But of course, like if you've been to Disney or Universal, there's always a point where the Lightning Lane or the Express Pass queue joins the standby queue, right? Which, because it'll take you so far, but it's not like right to the front. There's a bit of a wait, not a lot, but like a bit, right? So anyways, long story short, the standby queue where it was at was where it joins with Express Pass.
Yeah.
So essentially, if we had walked in the standby queue at this point, we would have had the exact same experience. So it was a bit of a waste of an express pass at that point of the night.
You were a little bit fuming on that one as we were walking through the lines as the standby people were walking just as fast as us.
That's the thing. And that's a misstep on our part, right? That's on us. But we didn't repeat that mistake on our second day. After that, it was about 9 p.m. So we slowly made our way back to Helios. We hadn't actually been in our room at this point or yet to this point, right? So we grabbed our bags from Bell Services and we headed up to our room and we were in a theme park view room. And just a phenomenal view, like front and center. We had a great vantage point of kind of the whole park, and then front row seats of that Cosmos fountain show that happens every night. So we unpacked our essentials, everyone got cleaned up, and we actually watched the show from our window, which was a nice way to close out the night. And the kids thought that was just really cool.
They did. They thought that was so fun.
Yeah.
And then just quickly on the room, it's a pretty standard layout with 2 queen beds. The rooms are a decent size, but nowhere near as large as the rooms over at Portofino Bay. Having said that, this resort is still pretty new, so the rooms just looked really nice for sure. They just felt clean and new. I loved it.
New, exactly. Yep.
So then the next day we had a pretty similar start. We got ready and we were down at the lobby around 7:30. We had some coffees and a quick bite at Aurora Market again. We actually switched our strategy up just a touch on this day, and it ended up biting us in the butt a little bit.
Yeah.
We were let into the park right around the same time, but instead of heading to Minecart Madness, we headed to Bowser's Challenge. We got right onto Bowser's Challenge, and the wait time at Minecart was 30 minutes when we got off. So we got into that line. We were cruising along quickly in the line. It all was looking really good. It looked like we were going to get on in about 15 minutes, and then there was a ride delay. We were about at 25 minutes at this point, then it started up again. Then there was another delay and then another. And then finally a third one. And that happened when we were pretty much near the front of the attraction. This delay, they kept saying the third one there or the fourth one, whichever number that was, we have to add more carts now to the track. So this is a good delay is what they kept saying.
Yeah, and it was going to be quick. And it was quick.
It was, yeah.
But at this point, we
were so fed up because that was our early entry just gone.
Yeah.
So we finally got to get on the ride around an hour after entering the queue, which definitely put a damper on our morning. The kids were kind of fed up at that point. So then after that, we headed into Isle of Burke and we rode our lightning lane for Hiccup's Wing Glider.
Our express pass. But
sorry.
I forgive the mistake because, we're always talking about lightning lanes. But yes, we did our express pass for wing gliders. And then we also watched the Untrainable Dragon show right after that. That was a really fun show too. We actually loved it. And without spoiling too much, the toothless animatronic that essentially like flies over the theater is just so cool. The kids really, really
I
thought
know.
that was
I had
cool.
to take a video of it, even though they tell you not to.
Did you really?
Niece, I did. Our niece
You're not supposed to do that.
Is the biggest Toothless fan. I know it's funny, but she truly is. She's a sweet little girl and she's the biggest Toothless fan. So I had to take a video of it for her. And we also got her a keychain just because she's honestly the biggest Toothless fan. So I just very sneakily took the video.
Okay. I didn't know that. You were being naughty. All right. After that, we split up and Lucy and Sophie actually did Fire Drill and Caleb and I actually went to ride Stardust Racers. Like we were saying before, Sophia just didn't want to do it a second time. So it was just Caleb and I. And then once we were both done there, we headed to Café L'Art de la Sirène over in the Ministry, which is essentially a quick service restaurant. Super nice in there. It's like a beautiful dining space. And I had the baguette de dinde, which is essentially a cracked black pepper turkey sandwich with apples, brie, arugula, and topped with mustard butter and apple butter. And it's all served on a like skinny, fresh baguette. Mm-hmm. And it was really, really good. I had a garland salad with that. And honestly, like some of the best food I've ever had in a theme park. Yeah. Like when you think about the quality and what you're eating.
That's something you would totally get in France.
Yeah.
Like that is a standard lunch in France.
No, and it's funny because like we'll share our thoughts on Epic at the end of the episode, but the food here I think is really, really good.
Agreed.
Like,
it's a little like a next step up.
Yeah, just a little bit better than your standard quick service meals like in your standard theme park. Or not standard theme park because Disney is not. They're not standard.
Neither of them are standard versus like Six Flags. No offense to Six Flags.
Yeah,
but.
Just really, really good food.
Yeah, and then I had the beef bourguignon. I really enjoyed this one. It was super delicious. It was quite hearty and filling, so that was nice.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. And it wasn't too big of a portion either, which was nice. And then the kids each had the petite burger, which is essentially just a cheeseburger on a brioche bun with fries.
One.
Yeah, exactly. And for dessert, we couldn't leave without trying the butterbeer crepe, right? So we all shared it. The kids weren't huge fans of it, which I was totally okay with because Lucy and I loved it. I would definitely recommend this snack to anybody, right? And we would definitely have it again next time we visit Epic because
super yummy.
It was delicious. And after that, we grabbed a couple of iced coffees and we checked out the stores at the front of the park just because we hadn't perused there yet.
Yeah.
And the kids were asking about going for a swim. So we ended up heading back to Helios at this point and letting the kids swim in the pool for about an hour or so. It's a really nice pool area here. It doesn't have a slide or anything, but it is a decent size and the kids really liked it.
They thought it was so cool that there was underwater speakers.
Yes.
I remember they both went underwater for no reason. They were just dunking themselves. And then they both popped back up. Oh my God, we can hear the music underwater. water. They thought
Yeah.
that was so cool.
And not for nothing, but like when we first walked into the pool area, they were playing Little Mermaid song.
They were.
So I was like, it's funny that they're playing Disney music here.
They
but
totally were.
yeah, totally. So yeah, after that, again, about an hour or so. So after that, we went back to the room. The kids got dressed and we headed back into the park. We headed into Dark Universe first, and we did Monsters Unchained and Curse of the Werewolf with our express passes. And once we were done there, we headed back into Super Nintendo World, and we rode both Bowser's Challenge and Minecart Madness again with our express passes.
Yeah, and then that took us right around 6 o'clock. So we had a 6:15 dining reservation at Blue Dragon, which is right near the entrance to Helios. We were sat right in the middle of the dining room. It's a nice restaurant. The lobby has neon signs, similar to what you're going to find in Chinatown or in a city kind of similar to that. The restaurant itself has a long neon blue dragon that lines the walls. And then there's fake trees and canopies around the dining room as well. It's actually a very nice space, very peaceful, calming.
Yep.
We liked it.
Yep.
And then for dinner, we shared the veggie spring rolls. The kids both had the orange chicken bento boxes. And Oliver and I both had the beef. I can't say this specific word because Xi'an noodles. And this is with spicy braised beef, Napa cabbage, Szechuan spice, garlic, hot oil, and dragon sauce. I'm going to be honest with you. This was good, just not great. We were expecting something a little bit different. I think I was expecting nice beef strips.
Yeah.
And it was like hamburger meat.
Like minced beef.
So I was a little bit disappointed with that. Like I said, it wasn't bad. But if we came back here, I would definitely try something else.
I'm sure there's lots of good things on the menu, but yeah, I would agree with that. It was good, not great.
Yeah.
And after dinner, we headed back into the Wizarding World, right? And we rode Battle of the Ministry, and we did our express pass. The wait time was around an hour or so we felt better about that. And after that, we actually headed to Hiccup's Wing Gliders, which was showing a 25-minute wait. So we went there, and it was actually a walk-on.
It totally was.
We got off the first time and we came back around. We didn't grab our bags from the lockers or anything. We just went around again and walked right on for a second time. And when we were done our second ride, Lucy kind of off the cuff just to me goes, there isn't even anyone actually waiting to get on the ride, right? Which it was true. But then this super sweet cast member, she kind of overheard us and she goes, "You want to go again?" So like, obviously, like we're all like, yeah, for sure. Like, absolutely.
Oh, so much fun.
So anyways, we come back around and there's still no one waiting to get on the ride. So the same cast member, she goes again. And we're like, yep. So this was the third time. And then no word of a lie, we come back and she goes, "Third time's the charm." So again, still no one was waiting.
No word of a lie. She was wonderful. Oh, we loved her.
Exactly. So 3 times back to back to back, all without getting off.
The kids, that was like the highlight for them. They were just so happy.
They just thought it was so cool. And so we did too. I've never experienced anything like that.
And this ride is amazing.
Yeah.
Truly amazing.
Just a fun, wholesome coaster. But yeah, anyways, on the fourth ride through, so the third back-to-back one, we went to the other side of the track. It just like the way it happened.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple of people waiting. So we finally got off. But yeah, it was just a cool experience. And that cast member was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, the kids just loved this. They were talking about it for the rest of the trip. And still now, during dinner, we were chatting and we asked the kids what their favorite part of the trip was. And Sophia goes, when we got to do Hiccup's Wing Glider 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
And I don't blame her. That was awesome. Definitely
Agreed.
a highlight for all of us. After that, we went to How to Treat Your Dragon, which is a sweet shop in Isle of Berg. Oliver and I shared the popular chocolate cake pop, and it lives up to its hype, folks. It was really, really good, like sneaky good almost.
I wasn't expecting it to be that good.
Yeah,
but it was,
absolutely. Like I said, we did not expect to love it as much as we did. And maybe the high coming off of Hiccup's Wing Glider 4 times in a row essentially helped. But like I said, it was awesome. The kids each got to pick out a fun macaron, and it was just a really nice way to end the evening. But we actually weren't done there. Battle of the Ministry was showing a 45-minute wait, so we got in line and then maybe waited 25 minutes, I think, if that.
Yeah, exactly.
We had told the kids that we would watch the Cosmos Fountain show, but by the time we got out of the Battle of the Ministry, it was 10:05. So we only got to catch pretty much the last little bit of it, but the kids were honestly happy with that regardless.
Yeah, it was at the Super Nintendo part when we came out, so Caleb thought that was cool. So yeah, we just watched the last 5 minutes or so and then and after that we essentially said our bittersweet goodbyes to the park, right, and made our way back to Helios. We hadn't really unpacked that much, so it didn't take us long to kind of just organize our suitcases because we were leaving Helios the next morning to head back to MCO to take our shuttle over to Port Canaveral the next morning. It was a pretty late night all in all, but we didn't have to be up super early. Like Lucy and I, we got up, it was like right around 7 o'clock or so. We got ready, packed up like the last of the things that we didn't do the night before, like toiletries, chargers, that kind of thing. And we let the kids sleep in a little bit while we were doing that. We woke them up right before 8 o'clock. We got them dressed. We had already laid out their clothes and we headed downstairs. Right around that time, we had a quick breakfast at Aurora Market. And then, we took our Uber back to MCO. So overall, it was just a great few days at Universal Orlando, right? Lucy and I have kind of been chatting about it. And really the only thing we would have done differently is to put our Epic Universe days in the first couple of days of the trip. So instead of doing Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida and then Epic, we would have done it the other way around.
Agreed.
After 2 full days at Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios, like the kids were just a little bit tired.
They were.
So we felt like we may have gotten a touch more out of our Epic days if they were on the first 2 days, but we're splitting hairs here, right? Because it was still a really great trip overall.
Yeah, it definitely was. We are pretty familiar with and are comfortable over at the original parks, but Epic was completely new for us. So that was actually really fun and exciting. Overall, we think it's a great park. There were some great attractions here. We do feel like Curse of the Werewolf is a little bit short. So much fun to be on, but it is a little bit short. We wish it was a little bit longer, just like we wish Tron was longer over at Magic Kingdom.
That's right. Yeah.
Dragon Racers Rally is just okay, but our kids really love Bowser's Challenge. But honestly, it was just okay for me.
Yeah, I didn't mind it, but I definitely see the appeal of it if you're a kid or a Mario Kart fan. It definitely has more like rewritability kind of thing. I would agree with what Lucy said, right? I also really like the shows. So both Le Cirque Arcanu and The Untrainable Dragon are really, really good. I do wish that Battle of the Ministry, and we were talking about this, not to be critical of it, but we just wish, and it's a weird thing, but I wish that it was less cartoony, if that makes sense, because like the, Harry, Hermione, Ron, and like Umbridge and everyone, it's like they're animated almost, right? So it's still really great, right? It's an innovative ride concept, and we really enjoyed it, especially having ridden it a couple times over the couple days we were there. It grew on us a little bit, and I do love it. It's still really, really good.
I think by the last time we were riding it, I had more of a love. You're right. After the first time when we waited so long in the line, when we wanted to use our Express Pass, I said it right this time. We just were like, why is Ron's face looking like that? That's not Ron. So but yes, you're right. It grows on you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And aside from that, we didn't spend as much time, exploring the lands and kind of heading into all the shops and the dining locations kind of. And I think that's mostly because we had the kids with us. But the next time we go, I think we definitely will spend a bit more time doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And, we've heard a lot of things about super inflated wait times, sweeping ride breakdowns, and some not so great things about this park. We really did not experience any of that. For the most part, it was a really positive experience, and we would definitely recommend a visit to Epic, and we will be coming back here soon. I say soon, but as soon as we can, for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think Universal, probably the next time we visit will be 2027.
Yeah.
So not next year, the year after. And like if we do, I don't know if the kids will be with us or if we go just me and you. But either way, I think I definitely want to spend more time in Epic, just exploring the nooks and crannies kind of thing.
And just exploring, each universe, just like, and what's gone into it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And dipping into all the shops and all
absolutely.
Like we didn't even really go into Das Steakhouse or the
we didn't.
Burning Blade Tavern over in Dark Universe.
That's just because, like we said, we had the kids with us.
Yeah, exactly. So and with that, thank you for joining us today to talk Universal Orlando. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And as always, if you could leave us a rating and review, it would be greatly appreciated. If you choose to do so, you can leave reviews right on Apple Podcasts. And for Spotify, you can leave a rating.
You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Let's Go.to-Disney, as well as on our Facebook page, Let's Go to Disney. We share some helpful reels here as well as some fun ones. The link tree in the show notes will take you to all of our socials.
Have a great day, and we'll see you real soon.